has agreed to a 2-year deal with the team. Peterson told our Josina Anderson the deal is effectively a 1-year deal plus a 1-year option with the Saints. Peterson says it's worth about $7 million guaranteed. Here's Josina with more.
I think he was just taken aback by how giddy the Saints seemed to just even have him in their building. Initially, he told me it just seemed like they didn't even think that I could come here because there were these ideas that his compensation would be north of $8 and $9 million, which was just definitely not the case. When I talked to Adrian this morning, he said, I'm excited for this opportunity. He said it just felt like the right fit. I prayed with my family. I prayed with my wife. They had the same sentiments. He has been working out really hard. He's anxious to prove to everybody that he still can do it, and he is looking forward to that. So I would definitely say that you're going to see a very motivated Adrian Peterson this season.
Josina, thank you. That makes a lot of sense that there'd be some motivation. We say often the fish is the last to know he's in water. You know, it takes some time to readjust your expectations, which I think Adrian Peterson probably had to do. Is this coach a good fit for both sides?
Well, I think it is in this sense. He goes to a team, their head coach, Sean Payton, obviously, but is also the play caller, maybe one of the best play callers in the National Football League. And what he does with his offense, he likes versatility. They will run the football. They ran it about 402 times last year. Ingram carried it about 404 times. So there's 200 carries left, and that's probably the mark that they're trying to meet with Adrian Peterson. And remember, this guy is an inside, explosive, powerful runner that has great vision. And I think in this offense, they will find a plan to get him involved in the game.
I think with Adrian Peterson, if you ever question his desire and his motivation, particularly if he's coming back off an injury, don't. Because he's one of the best at coming back when you question his ability. And I think when you look at him, he still has a lot of gas left in the tank. And not only that, when you're in the NFL, you need 2 good running backs. You need to rest that starter. You need to bring in another bell cow that can carry the bell. And plus, if somebody gets injured, you've got to have a guy that knows the system, that can run the ball, and that can advance the football.
So the question now is, Adrian Peterson said before that what he was looking for was a ring, Mark, that he wanted to go to a team that was a contender. So the obvious question, in your estimation, are the pieces in place in New Orleans for the Saints to contend?
Well, I think obviously you have to look at the defense, but I think this is one of the things that Adrian Peterson brings, ball control. You still have one of the elite quarterbacks in all of football in Drew Brees, so you've got that box checked, right? And now you've got a running back system. And think about this. Go all the way back to 2009 when they won a championship. It was Mike Bell. It was Pierre Garçon. It was also Reggie Bush. They had a 3-back tiered system, and I think they were the 6th-ranked rushing offense in all of football. Sean Payton grew up under Bill Parcells. He wants to run the ball. This gives them the opportunity to do that. And also, if they can control the clock, control the tempo, control the game a little bit, take some pressure off that defense, Herm, and they need to take pressure off them.
You bring up a great point. Generally, their defense plays with a lead. Their problem is they can't hold a lead. This offense scores 28 points. Defense gives up 29. Those are bad numbers. But now with Adrian Peterson, when you enter the middle of the 3rd quarter, if you have a lead, you can wind down the clock with your offense. You got a big back, that's who I call is a clavicle buster. He's going to run inside. He's going to make you tackle him. And remember, when you play in this offense, if you're Adrian Peterson, all of a sudden you have a light box. You can't play single safety high against Drew Brees because he will rip your defense apart with his ability to throw the ball. So now you're in a place now with an offense. Adrian Peterson's never been in an offense like this. He's always been in an offense where he's been the guy. 8 guys in the box. You have Drew Brees now, not 8 guys in the box a whole lot because you're worried about the passing game.
Well, it's interesting what you say, Mark. Don't count him out. Don't underestimate him. And he can say he's excited to go to the Saints. I'm sure that's true. But I also think he's been humbled just a bit by this process. And I would think that that's going to provide him with just a little extra motivation to prove what you're saying, that he does have gas left in the tank.
Absolutely. When you look at Adrian Peterson, I mean, here's a guy that's been a bell cow, like you mentioned. He wants to be that guy, and all of a sudden the market says, nah, you know what, we're really not interested in that anymore. Now you're going to have to share time. So there is that. I want to prove it to everybody, but I think most importantly, I want to prove it to myself. When you're a competitor, you're always in this game against yourself to see what can I do, what can I overcome, what can I accomplish, and that's when I watch him. I mean, that's just the way he plays.
It's bad what I call time to be an older running back in this year. Why? Because of the draft. There's a lot of running backs coming out of the draft. So if you're a team, you're going, he's 32 years old. The last 2 years, he hadn't played up to his potential. There are some young guys that, look, don't have to pay a lot of money to. could draft him. Got a young player. So that's a little bit of why he's sitting where he's sitting right now.
But still, he had to be shocked. One of the greatest running backs of all time, and especially our era, sitting out there in free agency. Nobody's going to sign him. Nobody's going to offer him a big deal or something that he's comfortable with to sign. I think he's at the right place at the right time. He's got an older quarterback in Drew Brees. He's got Mark Ingram to help take some of the carries away. And he's in a position now that when they put him in the game, he's got to have fresh legs. I don't think he's ever had that situation in his career, ever.
Correct.
Well, and you're right. The days of that single bell cow, carry the whole load, this is on you. We just don't see that anymore. Having said that, the workload balance will be interesting to watch in New Orleans with Ingram and Peterson sharing similar profiles. Both have played around half of their snaps on first down and over 80% on first or second down over the last 3 years. So neither one has been used as a traditional third down back in recent seasons. So it seems Sean Payton has a balancing act